Hi guys, welcome to Interview Gyan live classes. In today's session, we are going to understand how to use simple past tense. Today, we'll try to understand with the traditional method and we'll also understand the imagination concept. So let's start with the presentation. Okay, so first of all, what is simple past tense? It is used to talk about a completed action in the past. The time of the action can be in the recent past or the distant past, and the action duration is not important. So we need to understand that the reference of this action means where the action happened is in the past. The action is complete and we don't need to worry whether it is a recent past or it's a distant past. The action duration could also be less or it could be a long action, but it happened in the past, it got completed in the past. Let's see the rule of this tense. The rule is subject plus second form of main verb plus object. We need to fix here itself that in the past indefinite or simple past tense, second form comes alone. It doesn't come with any helping verb. So we can remember it like this, that V2 is a dawn. It comes alone. It never comes with any helping verb. Okay, let's see an example and try to understand this on an imagination concept or a time reference. Okay, so the example is I went to Agra in 2006. Now let's imagine this. Let's say this is our timeline. We have present, past, and future. And this is an action which happened in 2006. So 2006 will be called as the reference. We'll keep on using this term afterwards also. So please fix it here. Reference means where the action happened. That point where the action happened. So in this case, 2006 is the reference. I went to Agra in 2006 means the action was on the reference. So the action happened in 2006. Alright, let's understand this with some more examples, guys. Example number 1. I came to New Delhi in 2008. So the reference is 2008. Example number 2. His father died last year. So the reference is last year. Example number 3. They ate burgers at McDonald's. In this case, the reference has not been defined, but it is understood that the reference would be in the past tense. Sentence number 4. We informed them yesterday. So the reference is yesterday. From here we can understand we may have a point reference or we may have a long reference also. For example, 2008 in itself is 1 year. Similarly, yesterday means 24 hours. But still, this gives an idea to the listener where he needs to go to understand that action. So if I say, I called you yesterday, then the listener is going to move to yesterday to find out where is the action and what exactly is the sense of speaking that out. In case the reference is confusing, then the listener might require a specific reference. For example, I called you yesterday at 5 p.m. So at 5 p.m. is a specific or a point reference. Yesterday is a broad reference. We'll understand this in subsequent slides. Example number 5. I completed graduation in 2010. So the reference is 2010. Example number 6. He represented our country in the Beijing Olympics. So in this case, the reference is not defined in terms of time. It is defined in terms of an event, that is Beijing Olympics. So the listener can still relate it with particular time frame. So he can find out when Beijing Olympics happened, and that will be the reference. Okay, now let's understand some common errors that we see the candidates have for this particular tense. The error number 1 is he went to the market yesterday. We have seen that many candidates believe that the moment past tense is there, they need to apply either was or were. That's not correct. There are many sentences that are made without using was and were in the past tense. So second form is a dawn. It comes directly. It comes alone. That is how you can fix this particular rule. This problem that we see here in example number 1 will not be repeated if you're able to fix this, that second form comes individually. So the moment you see went or any other second form, there cannot be any other helping verb in that sentence. Okay, let's see the next common error. Next one is I have done graduation in 2014. Now we have seen many candidates talking about their graduation in this manner. This statement is false. We need to understand that in this case the reference is 2014. That is a past reference. So when the reference is in the past tense, we need to use past tense rule. This sentence is present perfect tense. For present perfect, the reference is always in the present. So we can't use a past reference in present perfect tense, but yes, we can apply a present reference in this sentence and the sentence will be perfect. For example, I have done graduation this year. Now the sentence will be fine. We'll discuss this rule in the next part of this particular topic that we'll cover afterwards. Let's see the common error number 3. Okay, we have he had done graduation in 2014. Once again, we need to understand that the moment we have a perfect tense, this one is past perfect tense. So in case of perfect tense, the reference that we have is always in the perfection. For example, we can have before 2015, means the action would happen before the reference. It cannot happen on the reference. So we cannot say in 2014. We can say before 2015. That will work in this sentence. We'll discuss this further in the next part. Okay, let's go ahead and see past tense imagination concept. It's a very beautiful concept. If you're able to have very strong past tense imagination concept, you're never going to make errors in using this tense. So let's understand where do we use second forms through imagination. Scenario number 1. Second form takes us to a past point. We can start these stories with this tense. So the moment you apply second form, just imagine what is going to happen. You are going to fly in your past and you will reach to a particular point in your past. For example, if I say I invited, the moment I apply second form, I as well as the listener will fly and move to any particular past point. If I specify the reference, it will give clarity. I invited you yesterday at 9 a.m. That will give clarity of the exact point. But the moment I invited would be spoken, it means somewhere in the past we need to go to find out the action. Okay, indicators. The moment you use the words like at, in, on, during, or when, you need to understand that second form could be used over there. We'll take some examples also on this. Okay, scenario 2. Before moving to the scenario 2, let's check with an example. So we have an example that is, I completed graduation in 2006. Rest of the story we are going to read in a short while. Let's just imagine this sentence. I completed graduation in 2006. So let's say this is our timeline. The moment we say I completed graduation in 2006, we are going to fly from the present point to 2006. So second form is used in this case. That's why we mentioned that we can start these stories with this tense. Okay, now let's read the scenario 2. Scenario 2 is V2 can be used to move the stories forward. That means the moment you are at a point in the past and you want to move your story forward, how would you move it forward? You're going to use some connectors like after that, then, you can see the indicators here, after that, then, after doing that, you may only say and, or you may just have a punctuation like a comma or a full stop and the story could move forward. So the moment story moves forward, you can again use second form. Let's see the example once again. So I completed graduation in 2006. After that, I took admission in JNU for masters. I finished my master's degree in 2008. Now just imagine this statement. I finished master's degree in 2008. So with respect to the previous action that was completed graduation in 2006, we are moving forward in the past. So just see this image from 2006. If the story goes forward, you need to use second form. Similarly, let's move forward. In 2010, I applied for PhD. So the moment story goes forward, we can again use second form. So the rule is very easy. The rule is you go to any one past point, use second form. Keep on moving forward, keep on using second forms. So if you apply this rule, you can very easily talk about your past experiences. You can talk about a number of scenarios that you have experienced in your past. Let's take one example, guys. Okay, now here you should observe the past reference, that where exactly we are going in the past, and also check that V2 is used when the story goes forward. One day, so the moment you say one day, that means the reference is in the past. I invited my childhood friends at my home for a get together. Suppose you invited them at 9 a.m. So we used I invited, that means second form, because we are going to a point in the past. After that, I planned to order food from a good restaurant. So the moment you say I planned, it means the story is moving forward. Second form by default means the story will move forward if you're already standing at a past point. Okay, let's go ahead. I checked some options on Food Panda and Swiggy and decided to order Chinese food from Swiggy. Please observe that we went to one point, that is one day, and then we are just moving forward to make rest of the sentences, and we are using second forms. Let's take the story forward. I placed the order at 12 noon and they delivered the order within 20 minutes. I called my friends up and checked where they were. They informed me to reach in 30 minutes. I waited for 30 minutes and then called them back. They told me that they were just 2 minutes away. Again, please observe that we are just moving forward. We are not going back in this story. We are deliberately doing this so that the application of second form could be understood. In the next part of this topic, we are going to understand how to move backwards using past perfect tense. So for the time being, second form means going to one point and moving forward. Okay, let's see the last paragraph. Finally, they reached at 1 p.m. Everybody was hungry, so we quickly ate the lunch. We had a great time together. In this case, had is a main verb, second form. We recalled our childhood memories and laughed at our all time favorite jokes. So, once again, you need to observe that we are going to one past point, and the moment you use second form after that, your story will move forward. So, it's a pretty easy rule, guys, that you can apply to talk about your past experiences. Okay, in the next part of this particular topic, we are going to cover simple past versus past continuous. That is the comparison of V2 and was verb plus ing. Let's take this example. I got up at 6 a.m. I got up at 6 a.m. is a point action. So that could be imagined as a photograph of 6 a.m. Okay, then my mother was preparing breakfast at that time. If you imagine this, you can understand that it's a long activity. It means it was a continuous action at 6 a.m. It might have started a little bit before and it would continue a little bit after also. So it was a video recording of 6 a.m. Now just compare the first two sentences. I got up at 6 a.m. is a point action. You don't have any information that what happened before 6 and after 6. So it could be taken as a photograph, and my mother was preparing breakfast at that time is a video recording. It includes this information that the action started before 6 and it would end after 6. So we are going to have a very thorough discussion on this particular topic in the next session, guys. Apart from this, we are also going to discuss simple past versus past perfect tense, that is the use of V2 and had plus third form. As I gave a hint in the last example, second form takes us forward and had plus third form takes us backwards in the past tense. Let's take this example. I got up at 6 a.m. We went to a point, so second form is there. I went for a walk. We are moving forward, so second form is there. And then got ready in 30 minutes. I left my home at 8 a.m. But I had forgotten my mobile phone at home. Observe this last statement. I had forgotten my phone at home is taking you back in this story. So we use had plus third form when the story moves backwards. We are going to have a full length discussion on these two topics in the next session. So please don't miss the next video, guys, and thank you so much for being with us.